Son, someday, somewhere, a guy is going to come to you and show you a nice brand new deck of cards on which the seal has never been broken. And this guy's going to offer to bet you that the Jack of Spades will jump up out of this deck and squirt cider in your ear. But son, do not bet him, for as sure as you do, you are going to get an earful of cider. Hello and welcome everyone to Pyrrhic Trader, a channel about winning infinite games. This quote comes from the idol of Miss Sarah Brown. Only a fool would offer a bad bet. Surely anyone who's offering you a bet believes they have some edge over you, otherwise why would they be offering you the bet in the first place? If the game seems so obviously skewed in our favor, it should prompt us to question whether or not we truly understand the environment in which the bet takes place. It should prompt us to consider whether our counterparty has an information asymmetry against us. Do they know something that we can't possibly know? Do they have an access that we don't have? Do they have a way to corrupt the game, or cheat, when we've been trying to play fair this entire time? The fact that a bet is being offered at all should serve as a potential warning. The visual is instantly recognizable as a con man trying to hustle you, but it also applies to the stock market and warfare. You've heard this advice a million times before, but my favorite version comes from Sun Tzu. Victorious warriors win first and then go to battle, while defeated warriors go to battle and then seek to win. Or more plainly, proper planning prevents poor performance. Countries only go to war if they think they can win, unless their hand is forced. When someone initiates a bet, they are creating risk on their own terms. They control the optionality. Through their own initiative, they will only offer risk once it has already been managed to acceptable levels. It is only after this point that it will be offered to their counterparty. They have already determined the time, the place, and the means of their bet. When someone offers a bet, whether that's in a bar, in the stock market, or on the battlefield, they may have already won. And the same can also be said about anyone who is willing to accept our bets. Surely only a fool would ever accept a bad bet. Maybe they have some edge after all. Regardless of who initiated the bet, the fact that you have a counterparty at all signals that someone believes that they know something that you don't. So what I really want to express with this next section is it's super important that we evaluate any engagement before we get involved. If we're waiting to evaluate the quality of our decision until after things unfold, then it's already too late. So the scenario that I always like to think about is like, let's say there's a stranger and they offer one of two bets. So basically, he's going to roll a six-sided die, and you can either bet that the die will land 1 through 5 or exactly 6. And the payout is the same either way. You get $10 or whatever if you're right. And in this particular game, we happen to know that the die is fair and that there's no way that this guy can have an edge against us. So the bet here is pretty obvious. You want to be betting 1 through 5. But if he throws the die and it comes up 6, the burning question is, did I choose wrong? And a lot of times I see people evaluate and they'll say, I chose wrong, I should have chosen 6 because it landed 6, but that's just strictly incorrect because you have to work with the information that you have at the time, and it'd be really foolish to bet on just exactly 6, even if it didn't work out. Even the correct bets don't work out every single time, but we really want to focus on making the percentage play. And by that, I really mean, what statistically is going to get us the best results overall. There's the expected value component, and there's some other layers too as well you can add, such as the Kelly criterion. Another video on that. We'll do a remaster for that one before too long as well. And then also just making sure that your bets get you to any kind of critical thresholds that you need. So if you're playing a game and you need to get at least 100 points, the expected value of a certain play might be the highest, but if it doesn't have a way to get you to that critical 100 points, then there's no way you can win the game. And so it actually is not going to be the percentage play. So there's some nuance there as well. But we really want to be looking at what our entire option space is and only getting in where we think we have some real advantage. If we aren't sure where we have an advantage, we maybe have a hypothesis, but we're going to wait to look at the results to find out, then we're introducing a lot of risk. If we're waiting to look at the results to see how we did, then that's a pretty risky scenario to be in. We don't have full confidence, and this is especially true if there's a counterparty. There's someone who's willing to engage in this bet against us. They have a tremendous incentive to stack as many advantages as possible in their favor, and they also have an extreme incentive to avoid any areas where we might have an advantage against them. I think it's always a good idea to be looking at the results kind of as they're unfolding in order to see if there's anything unexpected that's going on. But ideally, we're not operating in an environment that offers many unexpected things to happen in the first place. Now, if we go back to the stranger that's offering to play us in this dice game, the 1 through 5 of the 6, I think the fact that he's offering such a skewed bet is really kind of a signal that there's probably something else going on that we don't have visibility to. I think there's a good chance that the die is loaded, or he's got some other tricks up his sleeve that maybe we couldn't think of or wouldn't have the ability to know ahead of time. And then the next piece is that if your opponent is anticipating you to think about problems in this way, they might leverage that against you in basically a bluff. So if they're thinking that you will refuse to participate in any kind of bet or any environment where you don't have an advantage, they might offer bets just to create the facade that they really do have that advantage, even when there's nothing going on. And so I think there's really kind of two categories of people who are going to offer bad bets. Number one, it's fools. That's people who are not acting in their own interest. And that might be someone who just simply did not do their homework. They don't understand the bets that they're making, whatever it is. And then the other category is people who are bluffing, but more on bluffing another time. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked today's episode, please react and subscribe down below and let me know what you think down in the comments.